weird that both things happened in Orlando in a relatively short time span. That it's almost natural to think that there's a connection, and as far as we know, there really wasn't. I mean, I haven't seen any evidence suggested, and nobody's really mentioned that. It's kind of human nature to think that these kind of things are connected to each other just because of being in close proximity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just kind of, and you guys want to know why we're bringing up this, because the music club is music related. So anything that's music related, it will be discussed here on the show. If you guys want to come in and be part of that conversation, give us your point of view, we are so happy to have it.
Yeah, if you're out there and you're listening and you want to tell us what you think about the whole thing, I mean, we're not trying to bring up disaster stuff to get ratings. We're not that kind of radio show. No. You know us. We're just, it's something that's impacted everyone, and we like to make sure that we're keeping a close eye on the landscape of the world and the news landscape, because there's so much going on. And there's a lot of it that's reported one way that might not be that way, and there's a lot of misinformation. So we're all just trying to kind of come together and discuss it and just kind of like support each other through these tough times, just like we did with Prince and David Bowie and all these kind of things. It's just, just mutual support. And if you have any thoughts on it, if you want to ask us about it, or if you want to tell us how you feel about it, by all means, call in, let us know. We'll talk to you,
Yep. 360-464-4216, or if you are on Skype, you want to add us, just call, look up, let's talk about the music / you see shells on there. That'll be Google. But when I first designed the show, I wanted to design it for musicians to speak their minds, because, for example, Black Pussy is from Portland, Oregon. And they were getting picked on from different variety of different places, and they were trying to get their word out. No, this is not who we are. We're not this. You're reading the band's name into something that's not. And every time they try to vocalize their opinions, they will get that interview cut in splices by social media. And so I want to be an outlet for every single musician in the music industry, not just for musicians. Period. I want everyone to have a voice. No, this is not right. Or the Paris tag should have been this. Or something could have happened, could prevent Christina to not be shot. Yeah, well, might as well say shot. What could have happened or whatever. And kind of going into next week's show is going to be about band managers, truth and lies, and all that jazz. And so I'm opening up to the behind the scenes of the music industry, and so it's not just for the musicians. So if you have something to say, this is the show to do it. And we want to open the door, cut out like I said, we said at the beginning with Mackenzie-Dayle. And she gets this kind of a treatment all the time, even though she's a young artist. All the fans go to the guy, and then trail off to her. So, we want to know this stuff. And we do want to know what caused this gentleman to do what he did to Christina. And it just, I'm just sitting here beside myself. That's all.
Yeah, it's just a tough situation all around. Like I said, it's puts performers of every type in a really strange place. Like, you still want to go out and show everyone that, yeah, this is what I do for a living. This is important to me. It's important to you, and I have something to say. And at the same time, you're concerned for your own personal safety, because I mean, you have to make sure that you don't want to just throw yourself out there in the middle of what could be a really dangerous situation, but you really don't know what could be dangerous and what isn't, and it's so uncertain, and you don't want to let that uncertainty just keep you from doing anything, because it can just kind of freeze you and kind of stick you.
Yeah.
And then you end up just not doing anything, and then you've given up your livelihood. And I'm sure there's people out there to be like, oh, well, if you do that, then the terrorists win, blah, blah. I mean, I don't go in for like rhetoric like that and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's a win-lose situation. I just think that if it's me and I have a show, I'm going to go out and I'm going to play the show. And if something happens, I'm going to do the best I can to get out of that situation. But, things happen, and you just do the best you can, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like it hits home. It does. And I mean, like I mentioned before, I want to take the show on the road. I would love to have the podcast go to everywhere in the world. That's my next mission. Hopefully by next year I can do this. And you think, worry about the tourists or someone's going to hate the show to come to gun me down? No, I'm not. Why? Because I want to meet every one of you who's listening across the world, including Marissa in Winters Inc. I know she's listening in. And I want to meet everybody. And that's a whole thing. I want to meet everybody and give everyone hugs. I love hugs. I love hugs. What can I say? Including
it's
you.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's interesting because this situation reminds me a lot of, it's not an exact parallel, but, a lot of people were killed in this club attack, but people shouldn't be afraid to go out to clubs. They shouldn't be afraid to go out and do the things they like to do. It's like what happened some years ago when there was the third of the newest Batman movies came out. There was that shooter. I think it was here in Ohio. I don't remember for sure. I think it was in Ohio. He went to the theater and gunned a bunch of people down like a few minutes into the movie.
I remember that. No, it was actually here it was Colorado.
Oh, okay, Colorado. That's right. There was something else. There was something that was like a threat in Ohio that, like, within the same matter of weeks, there was a copycat that was saying they were going to do it in Ohio, and they cut that short, and then it didn't happen. So that's where I got confused there. But yeah, the guy in Colorado. And so a lot of people were like, oh, well, we're not safe in movie theaters. Let's not go to the movie theaters. And me, I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. And like in a couple days, I went to the movie theater. I went and watched the movie because I had planned on doing it, and I wasn't going to let some thug stop me from doing something that I enjoyed doing. And it wasn't just me being, puffed up and being arrogant about, oh, nothing's going to happen to me. It was just like, you know what? It could happen, and maybe it will happen, but I'm not going to let it stop me because I want to go out and enjoy. I want to go enjoy life, and this is one of the things that I want to do, enjoy. And so, in a situation like this, where somebody shoots up a whole club full of people, I know it's going to be very difficult for both the people who own the club and other people who attended the club to get back into the swing of things. And I'm not going to tell them they should go right back as soon as it reopens, because I'm sure there's going to be some old wounds there. But, don't let it stop you from living your life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's getting kind of scary out there, but yeah, just don't stop living your life. It's just, I'm just, right now, I'm speechless. I'm speechless, and it's very shocking for me to be speechless on a talk show.
even just revisiting it and talking about it, you just don't know what to say because you can't imagine the type of mindset somebody has to be in to do this kind of thing. And it seems like more stuff like that is happening, that people are just flat out crazy, basically. They do it and they say, oh, well, it was for this religion, or if it was for this thing, or it was for this. Well, it wasn't. It was because you were crazy. You're some person who's just beyond. You've gone over the edge. Somebody somewhere failed to spot the signs that you were having some kind of problems in your head. And that's where it comes down to. That's something that really needs addressed. It's the mental health situation, in not just here in the U.S., but in in the world needs to be looked at a lot more closely. I mean, a lot of times we just slap somebody with a bunch of pills and say, you're good, this will keep you under control. And it won't. I mean, you have to get in there, and it's not easy getting people to go and talk to somebody about it, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't force people to go and talk to a therapist or talk to somebody, but if you see somebody out there struggling with something, and obviously they're not necessarily all stable or they're having really serious issues, get somebody that either both of you trust to help them, or talk to them yourself and try to talk them out of it. I mean, it could be dangerous. I'm not going to say that it's not. I'm not going to say that you should approach somebody if they're obviously about to blow up or something, you know. You should still be safe, but people do crazy things, and the only way to stop them from doing these crazy things is to try to catch them before they develop this craziness.
Right. And you have a religion is telling you to blow up people and hurt people and kill people, you might want to think about getting a different religion. Because that is not the way. I mean, I don't want to continue to bring up religion because it's even... There's been a battle of religions going on for so long.
And we can't even say necessarily there's just one over the other. I mean,
no, it's not.
We had the Crusades. We had, the Spanish Inquisition. We've got the Islamic State now. We've got so many things have happened throughout history under different religious names. It wasn't all just one thing, so it's not like everybody's guilty, but not everybody's innocent either. It's people just need to respect what other people do. Yeah. And it shouldn't be about, well, you should believe this or you're a bad person. It shouldn't be that way. And I know it's easier said than done. A lot of people, probably smarter and greater than I am, have said the same thing over numerous years, I'm sure. But if somebody out there is having a problem, then let's talk it out. Let's figure it out. Let's find out where your problem is. Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. We're not going to have an argument about it. Let's not argue about it. Let's not get angry. Let's not, I'm sure we're all passionate about how we feel about these things. But let's discuss it. Let's get it out. Let's talk about it. And maybe we can come to some kind of agreement or some kind of consensus, it's... The biggest problem that people have is that people don't talk to each other. And I believe that one of the members of I believe it was Pink Floyd, said something to that effect, that one of the greatest issues people have is that they don't talk to each other. Right. And it's all just surface words and just this and that. And I'm myself can be a really super private person. I understand that. I mean, people have their own private lives and feelings, and I don't want somebody just trolling around in my brain all day long, just knowing every single thing that I'm thinking about. But you don't have to do that. If you have a struggle and you have smacked your head against a wall over and over and over with this struggle, go talk to somebody. Just talk to somebody. Yeah. And I'm sure we all know somebody that we can talk to who isn't just going to laugh at us and be like, oh, well, that's silly, that's dumb. No, I'm sure there's somebody out there that you can talk to. And I understand it's frustrating. I mean, we're, of course, we don't have the secrets of the universe. We don't know. We can't fix everything in the whole world just by talking about it on our little radio show. But if you're listening and you're out there and you're having some problem thoughts, maybe you're listening to us talk about it, and maybe you'll go out and you'll talk to somebody else. And maybe you won't do something that you might have done later. And we hope that happens.
And I want to break something up, too, before we go on a break. It's just that if you don't like something, well, don't worry about it. It's not for you. No one's trying to convert you to do something. For example, if you're into rap music, I'm not picking on rap music, I'm just saying let's play, you don't like rap music, but you have someone who's trying to convince you, oh, rap music is awesome. Well, it's not for you. Just simply say it's not for you, but you don't pick a fight over it. Okay? I'm into techno rave. I've been in it forever, but I'm not going to, tell you, that rock music is bad. Okay? that's for you to decide if you want to listen to rock or it's bad for you. I'm not going to tell you to demonize or anything. That's not how it rolls. If you don't like it, fine. Don't listen to it. You see someone being kissing two dudes, you don't like it, don't look at it. Walk away.
There's a big thing